You are listening to episode 21 of the Peaceful Mind Podcast. Welcome to the Peaceful Mind Podcast, a place for creating the peace of mind you need to be the best mom you are created by God to be. If you want to bring more balance, more joy, and more peace to your motherhood, this is the place for you. I'm your host, certified life coach and Catholic mom, Danielle Tino. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, let's get started. Welcome back. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. I am coming into your ear with a few days left in 2020. What a year! No one could have predicted such a time for our country and for our world. But here's also the reality. We never can really predict what the future holds. We were never certain in the first place for anything to have taken place in 2020 or not to have taken place. So there is that. We are always only certain of the present. We only have today. Well, really only this moment assured to us. However, our faith tells us to have hope, and in hope we can make plans. In hope we can take actions to be better humans, make a difference in the world, and also just hope is bettering our own lives for the sake of just wanting to, because we all desire basic needs and wondrous things in our dreams. So, as we embark on a new year, a fresh start, a new beginning, it's a beautiful place. Hope in stepping more fully into the woman, the mom, the wife, the sister, the friend we want to grow more fully to be. In today's episode, I am offering some suggestions that I believe will help you in that way. I know I titled it Must Do's, and let me just tell you why. I've learned that sometimes it's just better to listen to those experts who have paved the way before me. They've already made the mistakes and then have tried and true ways of getting to where I want to be. And I just think it might be easier to do what they say. So that's why I put them down as must-dos. If you look at it this way, I've already been through it. It's tried and true. And so you can just take it and run with it yourself. So since I've been where you are right now, and I have also become an expert in some areas where you want to be now. So if you're like me and you're wanting to get from A to B faster, here are what I think you could use and need in order to get you there. The list addresses much of what I hear from you wonderful moms with what you are struggling with and what you want help believing. So even though losing weight, getting fitter, exercising more, which seems to always be the usual New Year's resolution standbys, but what I'm offering is not to look outside of yourselves for the true lasting change that you long for, but let's go inside our minds to develop in many of what I know moms wish to be more of. And that is to be more happy, healthy, and more holy. Let's get started on the 10 must-do habits to build in 2021 for a peaceful mind, according to life coach Danielle Tino. Number 1 is pray every day. This doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be structured. It just needs to be every day. The consistency of it. And, sometimes people hear this and it brings on immediately feeling of guilty because they know that, or they think that they should be praying every day, but maybe they're not. And I just want to offer that this one is the foundation, and that you can look at prayer in a different way than maybe you have before, one that makes it more inviting and easier for you to work in to what might be a busy season for you in your life. If you're a mom with newborn or little ones, obviously homeschooling. If you're trying to work and have kids at home at the same time, maybe you have a house full of teenagers, and there's trying to navigate all that is entailed with all of their activities and their wanting to have independence. And you might be one of my moms that have said that you are now into that empty nest, or that they've moved on and you're trying to rework your identity. Regardless of what stage you are in motherhood, my Catholic moms, somehow, some way, whatever works for you, incorporate prayer in your life to the best of your ability every day. I've brought this up in previous podcasts that it is just to be looked at with how you would build or keep in contact with a friend, a good friend. You can talk to God at any moment of the day. It just takes a whisper of his name. It just takes an awareness and acknowledgement. We can put in our Father a Hail Mary, a Glory Be. We can search for apps that will help us. We can, just kind of look up or Google novenas. You can just light a candle, take a moment to be in silence and say, God, what do you want me to hear? There are so many different ways that aren't huge and daunting. And then there's also, if you have a pull in your heart to attend Mass more, even if it's just online, as we are, in a kind of different place in our world with this pandemic. But prayer is the foundation. It's what you need to connect and be filled up. And it actually, what I have found, it is that it has made my life easier and smoother, because when I am, challenged or struggling with so much going on in my life, when and if I have paused and taken the time to just connect with Heavenly Father and Christ, then he actually just shows me the way. Things just fall into place more. And I'm inspired throughout the day, that I feel the movements of the Holy Spirit that is showing me more clear the path that I am to take. So number one must do of the new year is to aim to incorporate prayer in your life every day. Okay, number two, drop perfectionism. Just make it a mission to recognize when you feel as if you have to be perfect, if you have to do everything right, everything perfectly. If you find yourself procrastinating or not taking steps because you're thinking it's not all lined up or perfect enough, or when you see something around you that is not as it, quote, should be, it's not perfect enough, then you just don't even want to take action on it in the first place. I know this one so personally, just deep within me, because I was the person who would strive to be perfect in all things, and was afraid that if it didn't look perfect, or if things, were judged by other people as not being perfect, that this meant something about me. But really what it had me doing is it had me quitting on life. It had me quitting on following through with what I wanted to change, or the dreams that I had, because I would stay stuck and not take kind of messy action because I felt like everything had to be perfect and lined up. This one concept of knowing that it was impossible to reach perfection, and that it was actually what was keeping me from getting. It was like this big wall, this block that was keeping me from making progress in areas of my life that I wanted to be moving forward. When I finally saw that, I had to hear it from different resources several times and over again. But now I get it. I get that it is better to just move forward, even if it's not perfect, even if it's messy, even if it's that it's wrong, even if it's embarrassing, even if you'll be judged for it, because that is how I have learned, is by actually taking action. And when you are a perfectionist, it stops you. It stops you in your track. It keeps you doubting yourself and just not feeling good enough. So I would like to offer in the new year, if you would like to focus, if you find yourself being a perfectionist, if you want to just kind of draw the line and say it's okay to put out what we call B- work, that it doesn't have to be A+, that it can be just a good enough job, doesn't have to be perfect. Number 3 is forgive yourself. We are taught that we need to forgive others. But what I have found in talking with mom after mom and coaching them is that they are holding on to guilt, and that they feel guilty a lot of the time, and that they don't know how to let it go. And this takes practice, but when you recognize that you are just feeling like you've made mistakes and that you shouldn't have, or that you should be better and, learn from them, we just are human, and we are going to make mistakes, and we will not show up fully as the mom that we want to be. The fruits of the Spirit do elude us at times. It is a constant work that we are doing to get to the place in our motherhood, in our life, where we do, more of the time hold the fruits of the Spirit. So I just want you to try and maybe make this new year a focus where you're going to forgive yourself more, because look how easily you forgive your children. Look how easily you forgive others. When they make mistakes, you can look at them with love and go, yeah, they're human. They've messed up. That's okay. They're just learning and growing. But for some reason, you mamas just can't find that same compassion and forgiveness for yourself. So, number 3, forgive yourself. Moving on to number 4. I want you to look around at your current circumstances and love your now. Love where you are right now as things are. Yes, it may look like really kind of bringing awareness and gratitude to what's going on, no matter if you deem it as heavy or, not good, or you kind of wish it was not happening in your life. When you can love the present, love the now, see the good in what's happening, there is where your power lies. What I was talking about in last week's episode, that you don't fight with reality. You know that what is in your control is what you are thinking about right now. And there is so much wonderfulness, so much good that is happening in your life right now, or what you're thinking about it is going to create your future. So it is important to not fight with the reality, but learn to become more and more aware of the good that is happening in your life now, or how you can look at it in a way that might serve your life better. And I just want to offer that in this concept, in this new habit that you're forming to love your now, it is just so much easier to let go and know that it's what you're thinking about what's happening now is where all your power to create a different future lies. So that brings me to number 5. Since I've mentioned the future, I want to offer you that this is the perfect year. 2021 is the perfect year for you to let go of your past. Now, I don't mean all of it. I would like to say you could definitely keep all of the good parts. You can tell your story that your reality is you can choose the good parts. But if there is something that happened in your past, I just want you to say, how do you feel when you think about it? When you think about your past in a way that is keeping you stuck, or you're wishing it didn't happen, or it makes you feel, like a victim, maybe, like, again, like you wish it didn't happen. You are then arguing with what is, and your past has no bearing. Hear this again. Your past has zero bearing on your future, because just like number 4's habit, when you want to love your now, it's what you are thinking about now that creates how you're feeling now and how you'll feel and act that will create the results you'll have in your future. The past is done. It's over. So let go of what's not serving you about your past that you are actually holding on to. Just put it down. Number 6, I want you to draw a line in the sand when it comes to how you think about yourself. So, in other words, your self-worth. For number 6, I want you to never question your worth again, because this is what is true, that you are 100% worthy simply because you exist. We know this to be true because you are here. You are on this earth. You are listening to this podcast. You are a human being. And just in knowing that you have been created and God breathed life into you, that you are here on this earth at this moment in time, you are 100% worthy. Worthy of it all. Worthy to enjoy this life. Worthy to have an abundant life. And so many moms that I talk to question this, doubt this, and it all is shown in the deep underlining thought pattern of I am not good enough. So for this next year, just decide that you are good enough, that you are worthy. And when you find yourself thinking that you're not good enough, the awareness that, hey, I'm building this new habit. I recognize that my brain is trying to tell me that I'm not, but I know that I am 100% worthy. And when you take that into your future and you're building 2020, your whatever your dreams are and actions you want to take for 2021, it's going, that in itself, this step of never questioning your worth will just unleash and open up a path and a freedom like you've never felt before. Okay, moving on, number 7, never give up. Don't quit. There are some things that you will consciously decide that you don't want to do anymore. And you will like your reasons why. And for that, that's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about those little quits on yourself that you do, that you had this commitment, you had this dream, you have this desire in your heart, but then the going gets tough. Then there is uncomfortableness that you have to endure. There is frustration and disappointment and embarrassment. And it is just, our brain tells us it's so much easier that we should just stop. And that one of the things that used to hold me back when I used to have those little quits is I would just have this thought that I don't need to be doing this. I don't need to do this hard thing. I can just let it go. Life would be so much easier if I just don't do it. But really, it was just my inability to be able to be uncomfortable and do hard things and feel yucky as I'm doing it. But what I know is true is that is actually the path. By stepping into uncomfortable feelings, doing the hard things, showing up even when you don't feel like it, and being uncomfortable is the way to get you to your dreams, to what it is that you want. And it's worth it. But you can't ever get through that obstacle, get through that big mountain in your way and get to the other side, or as we like to say in coaching, like going through that river of misery to get to the other side, the bank of the river, to what you want, if you stop, if you quit, if you give up. So maybe there's something that you're actually feeling is insurmountable, or it doesn't feel good, or you've hit this kind of uncomfortable roadblock into one of your dreams. And I am here to say maybe 2021 is the year where you decide that you're not giving up. You're going to go for it and do it anyway. Okay, number 8 is rethink time. Time is our most precious commodity. It is always passing, right? And I can definitely say that it feels as if it's going more quickly the older I get. But really, time is just a mental construct. It's something that we all seem to struggle with because we put these parameters. We think about it, right, in our 24 hours in a day, and that's all we have. But we've latched on to these patterns of thought that say, I don't have enough time. There's never enough time to do anything. Or I've just got so much to do. If only I had more time. So I want to invite you this year to, just like I wanted you to drop that never thinking you're not worthy again, what if you always thought that you had enough time? What if you dropped that thought that you don't have enough, but picked up the habit of believing that you always had enough? Because that thought is available to you. It really is. And the way that we know this is that everybody else looks at time in a different way. And there are some people that just can get, an immense amount of things done during the day, and others that don't. And why is that? It's because we each individually get to look and decide and choose and think about time in any way that works for us. So I would just like to offer you moms to, I was about to say mommies. Did you catch me there? That's that too, right? To look at time in a different way. And this year, start to believe and practice that you have enough of it, that you're someone that uses it wisely, and that however you actually choose to spend your time was exactly how it was meant to be spent. Okay, number 9, drop the manuals. I've talked about this in a previous episode. I'm not sure which one, but we each have a manual. It's kind of like, it's an unknown thing. You might not even realize that you have it, or you might not have been introduced to this concept yet. But I liken it to when we buy something, an appliance perhaps, and it comes with this instruction book, right? Like a manual. Well, as humans, we are unaware that we pretty much walk around with manuals about other people. We have these, our own ideas of what they should do and how they should act and what is correct and what's the right way to be and what they should say in certain scenarios, right? And how our kids, if they are meant to be respectful and polite, they need to do A, B, and C, and we all think they should do it in this order, right? How about what our husbands should do for our anniversaries, etc., etc. But it's exhausting also to have to, right, run somebody else's life, think of how they should show up. And what I like to call it for this must do is to just drop it, drop the manuals, come back to that responsibility that you get to be responsible for what you do and say and act and how you show up. And we want to give the freedom and give ourselves the space by putting down these instruction manuals that we think other people should follow. And it just it lightens the burdens that aren't necessary for us to carry around if we just kind of let everybody else be themselves, learn their way and follow their path in life, and just kind of come back to our own self and say, what do I have the power and how do I want to show up? We don't like it when other people tell us what to do, right? So maybe this is the year that we finally just let go of having a manual for how other people should show up, and we bring back and concentrate on ourselves and say, how do we want to show up in this world today? Okay, here we are to number 10. And number 10 it's one of my favorites. And what it is I want to offer you that this year in 2021, that you form the habit of thinking positively. Now, there are things that happen in life where we don't want to think positive, right? But I want to say that it's available to you, and why not? Why not look at everything that happens in a positive way? Even if it brings on a negative feeling, you can go ahead and, switch your perspective and find the positive in it. It's just we're supposed to enjoy this journey, this opportunity, this gift of life that we've been given. And I have found that when you choose thoughts that are positive and bring on positive feelings, it's just more fun. It's just easier. It's just more lighthearted. It just has your brain go searching for even more good, positive things. So there is such power in directing your mind to the positive and being optimistic about life and the world. And so I would like to offer you that in 2021, even if you think that it's hard for you to think positively, or it's not how you were raised, or it'll take a lot of work, I want to challenge you to call yourself an optimistic person and feel that you are a positive person and that it's easy to find and look at the positive, and that you can start thinking and believing in a positive way. Okay, so I'm going to recap those 10, what I feel like are the 10 must-do habits to have for 2021. And you don't have to have all of them. Just if you've heard something today, like one or two things maybe, if you focus on any of those, I promise that your other more external, tangible results will come more easily to you if you do these internal shifts for your mind. So here's the recap. Number 1, pray every day. Number 2, drop perfectionism. Number 3, forgive yourself. Number 4, love your now. Number 5, let go of the past. Number 6, never question your worth again. Number 7, never give up. Number 8, rethink time. Number 9, drop the manuals. And number 10, think positively. All right, my beautiful Catholic moms, you have got this. You have everything you need inside of you to make 2021 a fabulous year, no matter what circumstances are happening in your life. I would like to invite you to visit DanielleTienel.com, and I will have the links in the show notes because I want you to go ahead and get on my email list if you are not on there already, because in 2021, I'm going to be offering a masterclass, a free masterclass on time, and mamas, you won't want to miss that. And I'm also launching an online digital course that is called the Peaceful Mom's Path. Let me say that again. It's called the Peaceful Mom's Path, and you won't want to miss it either. So go ahead, go to DanielleTienel.com and make sure you are on that email list. Have a beautiful week and a great new year, and I will see you next week. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Peaceful Mind Podcast. Are you ready to take everything I teach you here and put it to work for your own life? To really learn how to have peace of mind no matter what is happening around you? If so, I'd love to have you as a client. As your coach, this is where you'll get personal and focused time on your own mind using life coaching tools, concepts, and proven life-transforming wisdom, all through a faith-filled lens. To learn more about how we can work together, come on over to DanielleTienel.com. There, you'll see how to sign up for a free coaching consult and learn how to get started. Until next time, peace be with you always.